Hello, children. This is Wolf, and today's post is about my race. What the hell is my ethnic background? Even I don't know. Well, that's not true. I know what my ethnic background is now, but before I had no clue whatsoever. My family is just the complete rainbow of different colors. I'm actually the whitest. I believe I'm the whitest in my family. Well, at least within my immediate family. Like my sister has children and they're pretty white now because of their father, but that's a whole different story. I'm actually Dominican, I am Latino, but that exactly is not a race. I've been curious for many years because there's really no information in regards to that, and specifically because my ethnic background has been so diverse in terms of color. I've always wanted to know, like, what the hell is it that I have? And it's interesting because people have been wondering the same thing about me. They always ask me, what are you? Are you Puerto Rican? Well, you are so exotic. What's your goddamn race? None of your business. But I decided to take the initiative and find out. A few months ago, I finally decided to jump on board and went onto a website called 23andMe. They do it for 99 bucks, which is pretty damn good. And all you do is you give a spit sample, you put it in the tube, shake it up, you send it to them, and it takes just a couple of weeks. It took me maybe I think 6 weeks to finally get all the results. They actually break it down for you on their website. It gives you this very detailed analysis of what they found in your DNA. You can view it online, and you can actually connect with people that are related to you that have the closest genes that matches yours, which is pretty darn good, especially like if you're adopted and you're trying to find your history, you're trying to find family. It's a good tool to use. I kind of knew what I was, but not really. This actually shocked the living hell out of me. I was not prepared for some of the stuff that I got, and I'll give you an example right now. So apparently I'm 65.7% European, 26.4% Sub-Saharan African, 4.3 East Asian and Native American, 1.4 Middle Eastern and North African, 0.3 South Asian, and 1.8% unassigned, which is actually subject to change as they continue to further investigate my DNA analysis and whatnot. And if you go a little bit further into it, it actually says I'm 41.4% Southern European, which includes Iberian, and that basically means Portuguese and Spanish. I'm Italian and broadly Southern European. And then I have Northwestern European, which is essentially British and Irish, broadly Northern European. And then the shocker of a lifetime, I'm 0.3 Ashkenazi Jew. Who knew? Mazel tov. And then it goes a little bit further and it says Eastern European, broadly European, encompasses the whole thing. Then when you get into the African side, 23.3% West African, 1.3 Central and South African, and broadly Sub-Saharan African. I always knew I had black in me. I mean, just apparent with my relatives. When I saw that, I wasn't surprised, but I definitely was surprised at the amount. I'm black, mostly white, obviously, but I'm a brother. Then when we get into the East Asian Native American side, it says 3.7 Native American, then East Asian, broadly East Asian. Basically, for me, it just kind of stamped it for me. It gave me a sense of identity, which is something I did not have for many years. But even growing up as a kid, I really didn't have a sense of identity because everybody was of a different complexion, and a lot of Dominicans are darker. I stood out like a sore thumb, especially when I would go to the Dominican Republic. I would always get random people just scream out, "Go to the beach, you need some color, you're too white." And it's like, no, I'm the right color that was fit for me. This is how I was born. I don't have to change the color for anybody. And even in school, I got bullied too because I went to a predominantly African American and dark Latino school, whether it be elementary or middle school or even high school. So I always sort of like a sore thumb. I always got picked on because I stood out like a sore thumb. I used to get all different kinds of names because I was white. It was tough, it wasn't easy, not really having that sense of identity. And for the longest time, I rejected the fact that I was Dominican. I was like, no, I'm not Dominican. I'm white, I'm American. And it wasn't until years later, until I basically left high school and became a grown-up, I started to really have a sense of identity. People were wondering even more, like, what is your background? I started to gain a newfound appreciation for my culture, but I still never felt that I was complete in my culture. I always knew that there was just so much more in me, and I really wanted to find out. So I spent like the past decade just kind of being out of the loop with who I was, and kind of maybe figuring out the math for myself, but not really knowing for sure. With this test, it made it really, really good for me. It's now I can just tell people, hey, I'm this, I'm this, and this. I'm basically a one-man UN, okay? I'm pretty much the whole goddamn world, which is pretty awesome. I can basically say I'm everyone. I am the world. We are the world.
We are the world.
We are the children.
We are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's not give in.
Another cool thing about this website is that it also gives you a rundown of like all your genetic traits, like how do you get your eyes and your nose and your hair and all these things, and like what region it would come from. It even says I have Neanderthal, 2.0% Neanderthal, which is wild. There are other people who have more Neanderthal than me, and I thought my face looked Neanderthalish. So to know that I'm more modern day human than Neanderthal is a little bit upsetting. It is what it is. And race is such an interesting thing, especially in this country. Obviously, we know that race is a very hot topic. And as much as I am very proud of my African roots and my African heritage, most people would not see me as that. If I were to tell them, I'm part black, nobody would believe me. They'd just look at my skin color. Nobody in the African American community would really feel like I can really relate to them. To a degree, I've actually dealt with discrimination in a lot of different ways. I've even dealt with discrimination in the industry that I'm in because of my color, believe it or not. A lot of people will not cast me in Latino roles because I don't look Latino enough. They have a perception of Latino being Mexican. I don't look Mexican enough, I'm not dark enough. I had an instance one time where there was a producer of a certain company who sent me an email. Basically, I was shocked when I read this because the producer himself is African American, and when he sent this, I was shocked, and it's actually very hard to shock me. And in the email, he says, "This is a mass email. Just wanted to show you a pic of this chick. Her name is blank. She came into the office yesterday for a go-see. I wasn't there, but I guess it was for the best as she made it clear, as in using the exact quote, 'I don't want my family seeing me fuck no niggers.' She included Latin guys in this term. We had her look at her site to see who we used, and in her mind and through her mouth, Wolf Hudson was to N-word, looking for her. The go-see pretty much ended at this point." Yeah. I looked at the picture of the girl, and I'm like, oh yeah. Never judge a book by its cover, but this girl reeked of racist. I'm not even gonna get into that. That would just be perpetuating a stereotype. But in this case, it kind of holds true. But I'm not gonna get into it. I actually had an ex-girlfriend. I remember very, very vividly. We had just finished having sex, and afterwards she wanted to go downstairs to the living room and wanted to watch a TV show. I think it was America's Next Top Model. So I'm like, whatever. And she just points out to this girl on the TV show and says, "Hey Wolf, what do you think of that girl?" I'm like, "Oh, she's fine." She was like, "Ew." I'm like, "What? You don't find her attractive?" "She's black." And hello, you know that I have a little bit of black in me. She was like, "But that's different." What do you mean that's different? Most of my family is dark skinned. If I introduce you to them, are you gonna have a problem with them? I don't have a problem with them. It's a preference, okay? I have black friends. She pulled that card. I have black friends. That really irritates the hell out of me. When it comes to preference, people have a preference of, I prefer blondes, I prefer blue eyes, I prefer thick, I prefer skinny. Those to me are preferences. Race, to me, is not a preference, in my opinion. We're all human beings. So to completely discredit a group of people based on their ethnicity, is bullshit. It just doesn't make sense to me. The fact that this kind of thing still exists in this world, and it's very upsetting because, like, I come from New York, and New York is a very huge city and is a melting pot of all races, different cultures, there's different lifestyles. New York is what makes New York one of the greatest cities in the world. Even with what I dealt with in school, racism is not really my peripheral. Leaving New York and seeing other cities and experiencing other people, certain areas, it really exists. I'm like, wow, where the hell are we? Am I in the Twilight Zone? I've never understood that. I just think that we should all love each other. We're all in this together. We're all beautiful people. We're amazing people. Just because somebody has a different complexion from yours does not mean you should be scared, you should fear, you should judge somebody or discriminate. It's the most awful thing. The people who refuse to date outside their culture, you are missing out on so many amazing people and so many amazing experiences. Closing yourself off to that is just ridiculous. It really is. I would hope that more people can be like me, embrace human beings for what they are and just beautiful people. But I digress. This was my video. I wanted to show you guys everything about me, and now you know. I'm a mutt. Pretty much. Tell me what you think. Post your comments down below. Subscribe, like, and share. And as always, I'll see you later. Eat your faith. Peace.